Howdy folks, Randy Augsburger, the Prepared Christian. This morning we're going to take a look at how not to build a chicken coop. Why don't you just stick around and you can learn from the mistakes that I made. Well, here we are. This is the chicken coop we built about 13-14 years ago. And I'm going to show you a bunch of mistakes that we made, and hopefully you can avoid them and do yourself a lot better than we did. Yeah, we got a cat over there. But here, what's the first thing you notice about this chicken coop? Take a looky here. Let me get close. See this. This OSB. This is wonderful stuff. Looked good for a couple years, but bring you around here, you can see it's coming off over there. Ripped out down there, things are living in it. Let me see all this along the bottom here. This here is plastic or some metal that I put down there, because what happened is as soon as the raccoons figured out there was chickens inside, they started ripping the bottom of that OSB off and they started pulling the chickens out. So we had a problem with that, but you can see that OSB just did not last. Even though it was painted, you can see up there where it was painted, but it's coming off. Even the 2x4s are rotten up there. But yeah, putting these windows in, that was a good thing. We got some windows. We got that window there that opens, and you can see up here on the end we got a vent. That was a good thing, vent on the other end. And what we did is this, I don't know if you can see it here. Get over here through the brush, but this foundation down here runs over here and runs over here and around, and there's a corner there. All that was the old chicken coop when we moved on to the farm, and it was falling down. We burned it, and then we built this one on the back corner of that foundation. And but yeah, you can see here's another spot. OSB is just rotting, and critters can go right in there. I got an idea for fixing this a little bit and being able to use it the way it is, but for the most part right now it's not the greatest thing in the world, but sitting on that foundation. So let's get inside, and I'll show you a couple other things we did wrong and one or two things we might have done okay. Alrighty, back here, this door, this is one of the things we ended up doing right. I repaired it, built a half decent door. This panel blew off in a really bad windstorm that we had, and hadn't really secured this door since we didn't have any chickens out here for a couple years now. So that's why that panel blew off. But other than that, that door, finally I built a nice solid door, and that was a good thing. Got a couple traps in here. We had rat problems up there. Jar of peanut butter, put some peanut butter on a leg hold trap, and you'll catch a rat right around the head, and they'll take care of it. So what we did, another mistake I made, here's the cement foundation corner of the old chicken coop. But what I did is I thought I was being smart. I got 10-foot 2x4s for the back wall, and then I got your standard 8-foot 2x4s for the front wall, and I thought I'd have a 2-foot drop and have a nice slope on the roof. Well, what happened there was I thought, you know, look up here, I got this little storage up here, I got the old chicken crate and everything. I thought, oh, you know, I'll be able to throw some hay bales up there and straw and store stuff up there. Well, we never use that storage space, other than I got to roll chicken wire up there and everything. That's just wasted space up there. That was a big mistake going 10 foot. I probably should have gone 8 foot cut the front ones off at 6 foot, and it would have been really good. What we did in here is then we built got a little door here that is messed up now, but got a door here, and we got chicken wire. We had kept our food in this outside section, and had the chickens in here. And like every other chicken place, there's just all kinds of stuff hanging around, but we could get in here and move around, and built some roosts, and they did really good. These roosts here, the chickens loved them. We had just this one here, and then over here we had this one down here, and we had at one time we had about 75 chickens in here. We bought a bunch of leghorns from a commercial operation that they're selling for 25 cents each, and we already had about 25 chickens, and they had a minimum that you had to buy 50. So we ended up with about 75 chickens at one point, and leghorns, since they were in cages, they didn't really know how to roost to begin with, and they stayed on the floor. And probably, I don't know, a quarter of them ended up dying because they didn't you know, they were used to cages and they weren't used to the food we were feeding them, and their droppings looked like cornmeal, wet cornmeal. I mean, the food was going right through them, right from. That's what it looked like in the factory place. And but once they got acclimatized, their droppings started looking like chicken droppings, and they started using the roosts and everything. So we probably had, I don't know, 60 chickens up on these little roosts right here. And you can't hardly see it now, but I got a little hole drilled in there. I read there's some along here too, but they back in the old days, you'd drill a hole and you'd drop a mothball in there, and that was supposed to take care of mites and stuff, and I did that and never had trouble with that. You see a golf ball there. We used to, instead of the fake eggs and the thing to tell them where to lay, we'd put the golf ball in the nest boxes. But I think I mentioned in my last video that this nest box was half of what was in the original chicken coop, and you know, my great-great-grandpa built this thing, so we didn't want to totally throw it away, so we cut it in half and hung it on the wall in here. Seemed to work. I mean, it's a lot more nest box than what we need. But so anyway, our big mistake, OSB for the outside of the chicken coop. A lot of wasted space inside here. One more thing, if we can see it from in here, I don't know, you can kind of see the clean metal, and then it looks brown. Well, what that is I put clear panels up there on the roof that first year, and the clear panels, they lasted about a year, and we had an ice storm and it broke all of them, and so we had some old rusty roofing laying around, and that's why it looks brown, because it's laid right on top of the clear panels. And those clear panels did not work at all. They broke first year in the winter and the ice storm, so that was not a good buy for the chicken coop. And with these windows, as you can see in here, we got a lot of light in here for the chickens. Yeah, what I'm thinking about doing is I've got some yard fence, some 2x4 inch rectangle yard fence, and I'm thinking about just nailing it on the outside to the studs and wrapping it around and holding this thing together, and you know, getting a couple another years use out of it before I have to completely rebuild the place. But another thing that I thought was going to be really great, see all these little trees right here? These are mulberries, and they dropped their mulberries, and our first chickens we ever had, they loved them. They ate them up like crazy. And then the subsequent chickens, they never would eat the mulberries. So that was kind of surprising. Another thing that worked really good is we got these little troughs right here. We put them in the drip line of the roof, And the chickens love that for the water. You can give them fresh water inside and they'll come out here and drink the rainwater instead. That worked good. And then this tree was actually growing out of the middle of the old chicken coop, and we left it there and built beside it. And let's see, these are sugar maple trees that I tapped a couple years ago. And chickens seem to like we first had this little yard, this little square. You can see this grass growing up here. We had that fenced in for the chickens, and they seem to like it once they got some shade in there. They like it a lot better hung out under the trees. So anyway, that's what you can see my mistakes making the chicken coop. Don't make them. Keep them. Use better materials. Use better design. And I think you'll be a lot happier than I have been with mine. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll bring you something else here.